Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today we are listening to George Michael. This is a live performance featuring a cover of the song I Can't Make You Love Me. Here we go. This is such a great song. I picked this specific video because I wanted to watch something live that I had not seen before. I've definitely heard George Michael many times, and we've even watched at least a live performance in one of our Patreon hangouts. So this was new for me. I think in addition to just that gorgeous tone that he has, what impresses me most anytime I hear, whether it's an original or a cover, he has the most incredible breath utilization and control. And I think the reason his voice always comes off, or at least comes across so smooth, is the way he utilizes breath. You're not hearing a lot of, flares or a lot of increased volume on higher notes. It's just so well controlled throughout the entirety of his range, so that, yes, the high notes still, sparkle, but it's in line with everything that has come before that, everything that sits lower. It's all just such a really nice, well-balanced, dynamically voice. And it's just, I find that incredibly impressive. And of course there's other stuff. So back to the beginning. It's as if, now this is something that's taught a lot in the classical sphere. But the goal is to always sort of be like singing on the very edges of your vocal folds so that you're not engaging so much tension or press throughout the entirety of your range. And I feel like he does that with just a smidge of separation, because you can hear part of that velvety, smooth texture and color and warmth that he has. There is, I say airiness, not in a bad way, but you can kind of hear that airiness, that extra airflow. Let me play this opening again, because of course, you know, when I hear this song, my initial thought is always the Bonnie Raitt version. Or even, I think most covers I hear, you expect a lot more air. At least I do. Sorry, I'm really racking my brain to think of other artists that I've heard do this song. I feel like there's just this kind of like really warm, subdued approach like that. Yeah, let me play it again. Turn down the lights. Like, I think there's usually a lot more airflow, a lot more breathiness at the onset of this. And I feel like he doesn't do that, even though we hear that slight bit of airiness in his voice, that little bit of texture. There is a, I want to say a clarity. There's a clarity in his tone so that it just feels smooth and not pressed. It feels smooth, not airy. Hopefully that makes sense. One more time. Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. As he ascends, like inside voices, that's what I'm talking about with regards to dynamic contrast or lack thereof. The whole line just feels really dynamically contained. Almost like he's just got automatic compression on his voice, you know, bringing up the lows and sort of tampering, or I don't know the technical term, but just like putting a lid on the highs so that it all fits within like one volume level. When he sang Bed, that is also something I just love. He never shied away from vocal characteristics that I hear a lot in like R&B and soul music, even though, I guess, I don't know, it depends on, I always thought of him as a pop singer, and not to say pop singers can't do a lot of that, but I feel like he really incorporated a lot from other genres stylistically. Let me play that. Turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me. Tell me no lies. Just hold me close. Don't patronize. You can, I feel like on Close, this was the first time where I felt you could hear the difference in press. So if you were to maintain or attempt to maintain the same amount of press in your chords, you know, throughout an entire octave, it's going to naturally feel, I think for most listeners, it's going to seem louder on the top. Part of that is, as we sing higher, the tendency for most singers is to use more air, but also as your chords stretch and thin and separate, we have to use tension to bring them closer together. And he sort of backs off what I'm assuming is air pressure, because the texture in his voice, the adduction, still sounds very similar to what we're hearing in the lower part of his range. Lower part, I guess, in this song. Actually, let me go back even more. Lay down with me, tell me no lies, just hold me close, don't patronize, don't patronize me. I can't make you love me. Now, there, granted, this is live. I'm sure he's played with the microphone placement a little bit, but hearing how powerful that is, but volume-wise, it's not like an exponential increase from what we heard in the verse. Go back. Two other things I wanted to comment on. His vibrato, it's a beautiful sounding vibrato to my ears. It is just a hair wider than sometimes we hear in like Western popular music, and I think that was part of his signature sound. But he also is very selective when he uses vibrato or allows it to be incorporated. The other thing I wanted to mention was with regards to the singing on the edges of the folds. It's very beneficial when it comes to agility. And granted, this song isn't showcasing a lot of that, but even just those very few turns or like mini runs that he's incorporating, they're so smooth, they're so seamless, and part of that I think can be attributed to his technique and just the fact that he's not incorporating a ton of press as he sings, so he has that dexterity to make those runs even smoother. I close my eyes, then I won't see the love you don't feel when you're holding me. More than will come, and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight, and I will give up this fight. I have to go back. Oh my goodness. His phrasing is beautiful, but let me play it again while I collect my thoughts. Just give me till then to give up this fight. He's so expressive in everything he says. Every line of the text feels so intentional. And then when he just sang to give up this fight, there was I don't know, a slight darkening. It had this really beautiful, subdued quality, which resonates so much when you think about the text as well. And I love the ebb and flow that he has put in this song in particular. I mean, he does it in other songs too, but yeah, it's just, it feels so reserved, and yet there's so much energy in it because of how intentional his delivery is.
And I will give up this fight, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't.
Sorry, I have one more thing, especially on those high notes. We hear brightness in that tone, but he doesn't shy away from using brightness in mid-range and lower. And I think that's another reason why his voice just sounds so seamless. I think a lot of times we encounter singers who, I mean, who doesn't? I love that kind of rich, sultry, warm, bluesy quality in mid-range and lower. But the way we achieve that includes things like added press, a lot of backspace, and not as much forward placement. Like we're kind of digging into those sympathetic chest vibrations and worrying less about resonance and carrying in order to have those warmer sounds. If you do that, you get to a point in your range where you have to pull things forward, where you have to take advantage of resonance to carry, where you have to, not that you necessarily were depressing your larynx previously, but there is a little bit of rise in the larynx. There might be some twang incorporated. All of these things help us sing higher notes in chest voice or something that's a chest dominant mix with lots of power and press. It can seem very almost like two distinct voices if you don't incorporate a little bit of everything in both ends of your range. So his lower range has that brightness so that when he ascends, when he goes into these beautiful lush high notes, of course there's still a fullness. He still has a lot of great open pharyngeal sound, but the brightness doesn't become overwhelming or jarring or surprising because he was allowing that in the bottom of his range as well.
And I will give up this fight, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something warm here in the dark. These final hours, I will lay down my heart, and I'll feel the power that you own. No, you won't. And I can't make you love me if you don't. Ain't no use in you trying. Don't love me now.
This is such a brilliant song. I love hearing it. I love hearing covers because while the text is very clear, the picture being painted is very clear, depending on who's singing, the subtext varies so much. If you just think about the words and the emotions that could be associated with that, I think every artist could create like their own movie, and while there would be similarities, the scenes would be so different because it's such a personal thing. I don't know. I love and so one of the, like I said, I hadn't seen this live performance before, and I just think it's really powerful when you get to see artists take songs, popular songs, and really make them their own and watch their artistry sort of come alive, but also not compare in a bad way, but be able to compare their performance with other performances, because you can kind of, it sort of highlights the differences. And I think that's so fun when you get to see how different each artist's interpretation is. Yeah, when you think about George Michael's voice, he just had so much at his fingertips. I mean, gorgeous tone, dexterity, which led to so much variety in his career, in his repertoire. Sometimes when I hear George Michael, I just immediately think about Christmas. And then other times, the really fun sort of pop up-tempo songs come to mind. Sometimes it's more of the soulful blues songs, more of the ballad category. But through it all, as soon as you hear him, I can identify like who's singing. I think there are some voices where you're like, is this artist? Maybe it's this artist, and you're not quite sure. Always and forever, I think I will always be sure when I'm hearing George Michael sing, because he had that really signature tone. Like I mentioned, that beautiful vibrato, the way he played with dynamics and volume, that breathy texture that he incorporates, and yet there's still so much power in his voice. There's just a lot of awesome stuff to listen to. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.